What is up? A to Z Sports live on a Titans game day, and it's going to be a big, long day for A to Z Sports and all of you as we've got content galore throughout this Thursday, getting ready for Titans at Packers on Thursday Night Football. It's going to be freezing up in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. It's pretty damn freezing here in Nashville, where Zach and I are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Going to go through one Titans offensive weapon that Zach thinks Todd Downing needs to figure out how to unlock. And it would be great if he could unlock this person tonight for Thursday Night Football. So a lot of people commenting that I look really sick today. Yeah, I'm not feeling great, but we'll fight through it on this Thursday. But Zach, we've got a lot of live content coming for you guys today. We always go live on weekday mornings at 8 Central Time. But today, we've got A to Z Sports Picks presented by BetMGM at noon Central Time. Buck will be live for his Titan Game Day pregame show. That will be at 2 p.m. Central Time. And then Zach, you and I will be live for Titans Packers pregame for Titan Game Day live at 6:45, always 30 minutes before kickoff on Titans game days and halftime and post-game show reaction. So big day today, talking about unlocking somebody on the offense. So welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yep, broadcasting on 3 different platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll get you started. But before we do ask you guys to share the show, subscribe, and we will tweet out link by link, our segments on our Twitter at A to Z Sports. That's at ATOZ Sports. You should follow us there on Twitter. We got you locked in with great coverage. We live tweet during the game. So go over to Twitter if you're on Twitter, A to Z Sports. Give us a follow there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube, search A to Z Sports Nashville. We cover the Titans. We got Vols coverage. We got game day coverage. We've got pregame, halftime, postgame show tonight, as Austin said. We've got Buck Rising. We got primetime, live streams, locker room, literally the best YouTube channel if you are a Titans fan to give you the coverage that you want and the coverage that you deserve. So subscribe to our YouTube channel right there, A to Z Sports Nashville, our road to 10K. We're trying to get to 10K. You guys can help us out on that front. Also, Facebookers, the real OGs, what's going on Facebook, bottom left corner of your screen, sharing that to public. I was actually, I've got a lot of shade on Facebook for behind the scenes reasons for our company. And Austin, I was actually proud of myself that I didn't bring that up because I'm at a boiling point. And once I get to a boiling point, things don't go very well. So Mark Zuckerberg, if you can give me a call, we've got some problems with our Facebook. One problem that can be solved is you guys sharing the show and distributing the show and having us pop up in your Facebook friends newsfeed. I want to love Facebook. I want to love Meta, but it's hard. It's a tough relationship, right? It's like one of those, it's just a strained relationship. It's love-hate. But if you love us and you love A to Z Sports, you'll share the show. So share the show around. We've got a great show in store for you on this game day Thursday morning. We got you locked in. We got you covered. Let's get this party started.
Yeah, you not bringing up Facebook on Throwing Shade yesterday was a significant underdog, but it happened. So let's get it going officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He's Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media as we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter timeline. Check out our Instagram and TikTok as well for more content. But we got to thank our sponsors because they make it all happen for you and make it free. Plus, they help you out. Like Wilson County Hyundai. If you need a new ride, go see them at Wilson County Hyundai in Lebanon or simply at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. The region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. That's better coverage rates and service. Learn more about a plan for you. FBHP.com/ATOZ. And Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call Hughes and Coleman for a free case consultation at 800-800-4600. So the Titans are dealing with it on a short week in a physical game there against the Broncos on Sunday. The Titans will be without some significant players today. Ben Jones out with a concussion. Bud Dupree missing another game, as is Amani Hooker. Both those guys are out for the Titans defense. Lonnie Johnson also out for the Titans defense, hurt his hamstring in that game. And then Randy Bullock, the kicker, is out with a calf injury on that kicking leg. So Josh Lambo signed to their active roster to play in Lambeau Field. So that we'll get to our confidence level in the Titans being able to win this game, down some significant players and impact players on offense and defense. But Zach, you're sitting here, you teased it yesterday. One offensive weapon the Titans need to figure out how to unlock. And I honestly don't know who this is going to be because I just have no clue of where you're going to go with this. Because if you don't think it's Austin Hooper and Derrick Henry's already unlocked, who could this be?
Well, Derrick Henry, that is their key player, right? They know how to hand the football off. And here I think has been the Titans' problem. I'm going to preface this before I get to the actual Titan that I believe needs to be unlocked. Is the Titans have had this problem for some time, is getting their premier players or a premier player or a player that can consistently make plays the football. I always talk about what's your bucket. I talked about it yesterday, right? They are awful at getting the player their bucket besides Derrick Henry. But it is a lot easier for a quarterback to take a snap, turn around, hand the football over to number 22, and then have him go, right? Sometimes they mess that up and try to toss 22 the football, but recently they've just been handing it off, right? So that usually dictates good performance offensively within the run game. But Austin, Mike Vrabel has to know this. Todd Downing has to know it. Hell, Shane Bowen on the sidelines watching this offense has to know it. And I know every single solitary viewer that watches the Titans, whether it's in Nissan Stadium, whether it's tonight in Lambeau Field, whether it is in the comfort of your own home, is their offensive passing game blows. It is atrocious. It is embarrassing. It is the bottom of the NFL football league, right? They are towards the bottom. Each and every year, I feel like that's a consistent basis besides 2020, and that offensive coordinator is now a head coach.
Well, Zach, I'll add this real quick. The Titans are 32nd out of 32 in total yards on offense. So that is dead last when it comes to total yards. They're 26th in points, which makes them 6-3.
Right. And, I look at this and I want to play this video, and that is Mike Vrabel. And look, Paul Kowarski got this right. Here's the guy.
Something good seems to happen every time you guys throw to Chig. It seems like the natural progression would be to go to Chig.
We would like to, yep. Yeah, that would be, trying to continue to find ways to get him the football, and, again, when he's out there running a route, like I tell every player that's out for a route, your job is to get open, and you can't control whether you get the ball or not. That's up to the quarterback. So we'll continue to try to find ways to get everybody involved and do things to help us. But yesterday came through with a big catch. Ryan delivered a nice ball that was over top the linebacker. So I agree.
Can you help me understand? You and Todd have said consistently with him you would like to, but you don't. So I'm trying to understand how it goes from liking to doing.
We'll see where it goes this week, and as far as helping you out, that's probably the last thing I would do.
So Vrabel don't want to help PK out, which is understandable. But PK did bring up, and I'll give credit where credit is due, a massive issue because we've seen it. You talk about productivity on a player on a terrible offense, dead last in the league. I think PK got this absolutely correct. Chig needs to be unlocked. We sit here, we talk about Robert Woods and dropping footballs, Traylon Burks and his injury, Austin Hooper, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock, unlock. I feel like that's the damn case every week because you don't know what you're going to get. But Chig, if you actually compare the numbers, Chig has been pretty damn impressive for the targets and the receptions that he has gotten. Chig Okonkwo has had 7 receptions off of 13 targets for 141 yards. That's an average of 20.1 yards per catch. You've got a guy that you handpicked. This is also not got some guy off the streets, too, so there's value there. Chig has been handpicked by John Robinson. They tried to replace Jonnu Smith and have been for some time since he went to the Patriots. A full-fledged blocking tight end that's multiple, that can get out in space, that can run away from safeties at times, that can bowl over defenders, that can be reliable, that has good hands and can catch the football. Chig, in the short stint within this offense, and look, I got one more thing. He's healthy. He's healthy. We got a ton of injuries across the board, whether it was Austin Hooper earlier that had injury, whether it was a neck. You've had Traylon Burks with a turf toe. Chig has actually been healthy. Kyle Phillips can't get back on the football field, as we know, because of all the stuff that he's been dealing with.
And Kyle Phillips is on IR, and this is his last game before he is eligible to work his way back.
But you sit there and look, I applaud PK for pressing Mike Vrabel. If you want to, why haven't you?
Yeah.
And then why haven't you? Whose responsibility is it to?
Right. Yeah, and I also find it hilarious that you see people, Steven watches the show every day, so we appreciate Steven. He says, Vrabel's like, you know what, PK, why don't you just mind your own business and let me do my job? Well, Steven, PK's doing his job for you. I don't understand, like, the fans who think it's hilarious when Mike Vrabel dumps on a media member for the media member doing a good job. And then the fans are like, why don't you ask the hard questions? So it's like, you can't have it both ways. Paul Karsky did a great job of pressing Mike Vrabel on something that he has not been pressed on so far this year, that everybody, media, fans, everybody has been talking about. Why can't the Titans offense get the ball in the hands of their players who are more likely to make plays for this team? And so when somebody asks that question, the fans get pissed at the media member and laugh because the coach, mocks the media member, but you're in the same situation. So yeah, I'm right there with you. It's time to start doing instead of talking. Years ago, when Mike Vrabel was his second year of a head coach with the Titans, he's asked questions in post-game pressers, what happened? And Mike Vrabel's canned response was, you need to coach better and play better. Well, you have to grow beyond that answer of coach better, play better, and start actually doing it. And so I think it was a great back and forth by Vrabel and Paul. And I think, hopefully you start to see Chig make more plays. He's made 2 40-yard plays in the last 2 games. But the problem is those are the really only 2 times he's gotten the ball in those 2 games.
Yeah. And look, we had a comment, Titan FTW, at least it's right there. Swaim is terrible. You got Swaim that I feel like they have like this a little affinity for, right? Whether it's familiarity, but Swaim is like Craig Stevens, aka Cat Stevens. He has a role, but they try to make his role expanded. He does not have the talent to expand that role. He caught a couple of touchdowns last year, right? When they were in a bind. But you have different players with different skill set. I do feel like they have this, whether it's Downing or the reliability of Tannehill, this small affinity for Swaim.
Yeah, I don't get it, because it's not like he grades very high in run blocking and pass blocking when he's asked to block. He's just better than the others, I guess.
So my frustration all over the league is you look at Tom Brady's been doing it his entire career, right? Getting playmakers the football as quick as possible so they can make plays. Kirk Cousins, who, this is hilarious. What do I call Ryan Tannehill?
The AFC Kirk Cousins?
He not anymore. He not anymore, because the Minnesota Vikings are dominating, and Kirk Cousins is actually utilizing his best offensive weapon.
I'll say this, Zach. I don't think that needs to be a knock at Ryan Tannehill, is that Kirk Cousins is now 2020 Ryan Tannehill. If you look at it, because 2020 Titans offense was putting up numbers galore and breaking records, and Tannehill threw for 30-plus touchdown passes. He had A.J. Brown, he had Corey Davis, he had Jonnu Smith, and he had Derrick Henry run for 2,000 yards. and he had an offensive line that could protect. And so I think that's kind of what the Vikings are doing right now, that they're the 2020 Titans offense, because they got multiple receivers. Now they got a good tight end, and they've got a good running back and a good running game overall. And so I think, Tannehill can do this. We've seen Tannehill do this well. It's the pieces around him and the coaching that has not been consistent the last couple of seasons.
So I'm about to ask a question.
Okay.
To the chat and to you, Austin. And I thought long and hard about this, and I felt like I needed to make this a little bit more difficult, because I'm going to just preface this. The first round pick, Treylon Burks, I think he has a ton of potential. That's why they drafted him. I think everybody else feels that he has a ton of potential. Now, is that potential being realized? No, because of circumstances, right? The offense, the injury, now coming back from the injury, plus the offense. So I'm putting 3 guys out there that I do think are somewhat comparable in their role. I am leaving Treylon Burks out of this because I do believe that he should be the number 1 wide receiver. He should be catching touchdown passes. He should be going deep. He should be breaking tackles and having long runs and impacting this football team. I don't know if he will, but I do think that that's important. And when you talk about unlocked, and we've talked about, that's kind of been the theme of this year, because the Titans lost all the keys to the locks. But the Titans are dying for a player to do and reach its potential. Burks, I'm going to set aside.
Okay.
But my question is, who is more important for the offense to unlock? And I got 3 guys that I'm going to put out there.
Okay.
3 guys.
Okay.
First is Chig. I think we got to include Chig because that is the topic of today's show.
Right.
Your boy Austin Hooper, I'm putting him in there too. So Austin Hooper or Chig or Robert Woods, because Robert Woods has been, let's just call it what it is, a disappointment for the trade, for what he represents, for him being thrown into a bigger role as a seasoned veteran, to the drop last week that hopefully will haunt him until his next big catch. But who is more important to the offense to be unlocked? Hooper, Chig, or Woods?
I like this question. We'll get everybody's answers, but Zach, tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah, Wilson County Hyundai is where to go to get your next ride. That's wilsoncountyhyundai.com. It's the Palisade, it's the Sonata, it's the Elantra. They've got you covered at Wilson County Hyundai. They're hooking you up with a great deal. Quick trip down I-40, exit 236. Painbone and his team, they will make sure that you have a great deal. You listen to A to Z Sports. Wow, that deal got even better. The full-size SUV. They also have the Ioniq, which is battery-powered. Take a look at their inventory today at wilsoncountyhyundai.com.
Don't forget, download the BetMGM app, and if you use our code ATOZ Sports, you get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 on your first bet on pro football. It's easy as that. But hey, Zach, how about this? I got something new, because guess what starts coming up? The World Cup. It's the World Cup starts, and BetMGM is offering soccer fans a chance at winning big with the World Cup Bracket Challenge. It's free to play, and it's fun to play, and it's for new users or existing users. So if you're an existing user with A to Z Sports, great. But if you're a new user, use our code ATOZ Sports, and you get the risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000. But then you get to enter the free-to-play World Cup Bracket Challenge. And if you get a perfect World Cup bracket, you get $250,000. If you don't, but that's okay, but you score really, really high, you can win up to $50,000 with this World Cup Bracket Challenge that is free to play for new and existing users only at BetMGM. So that'll be fun. We'll be talking about that throughout the next couple of weeks. So Zach, I'll send you to the chat. Who is most important for the Titans offense to unlock, setting aside Treylon Burks, Austin Hooper, Chig Okonkwo, or Robert Woods?
I'm giving the love of the show to Top Tier, because before we get to the comments, this is what every Titans fan, I think, believes in their heart of hearts. Top Tier says you can't realize potential when your offensive system fails to produce a competent scheme.
Okay.
I think that's the smartest thing that we've heard all week. So bravo to top tier. I agree with that wholly. And I think Todd Downing in this offense, ranked 32nd in total yards, proves that to you. But back to the question, if they are able to realize the potential of a certain player between Hooper, Chig, and Woods, who would it be? And look, we'll let Austin respond to Caleb. I thought Hooper was already unlocked. So this is my question. It's not Austin. Hey, We'll get that to a second. Okay. Scott says Chig. Tim says Chig. We've got Brian with Chig. Nate's still trying to unlock Dylan Radins. Good luck with that. Drew says Chig. Get Chiggy with it from ABNTX. Hooper there from Eric. We've got a couple of Chigs from Nate and Jonathan. KG is going Hooper over only because he has more experience than Chig. Burks is not a part of this, Jonathan, so I can't read your comment. Chig from Brad. We've got Chig from Top Tier. Jason says Chig. Chig from Colby. Chig from Kenneth. Karen says Chig. Malachi says Hooper. I did see a Woods in here, and I'm looking for it. Ed, Woods needs to get out of the woods. Top Troop says Robert Woods with an upside down question mark. Let's see here. Chig coming in from Jarvis. Woods from Bork. Woods from Steven. All right, some more Woods now. He's making a charge with Billy Jones saying Robert Woods. So a ton of comments. We've got some Chigs rolling in. Derek says Woods needs to get him more on third down looks. Gabrielle says Chig for sure. Chiggy from Sheila. All right, Austin, I'll let you take the floor. One of two questions. First one being your Hooper take. Second one being answering the three-player question.
Yeah, Austin Hooper cannot be my answer for this because he is already on.
No, he's not.
Yes, Zach, he absolutely is. Why is he not? Because if you look at we understand the Houston Texans game was a different circumstance. Malik Willis's first start. You can run the ball 50 times and win and dominate the Houston Texans' terrible run defense. So in the last 3 out of 4, removing that Texans game, Hooper's had 56, 34, and 41 yards. He's had 5, 2, and 3 catches on limited targets, but they've all come in big moments, and they've converted first downs a lot of times on third down. They've been down the field. They've been physical plays. And then you see what he did when Ryan Tannehill was back in the saddle. 5 catches for 41 yards, a lot of those in the second half as the Titans were really opening up the passing game after a really slow first 25 minutes or so. Austin Hooper, and as Nick says on YouTube, has been clutch. I think you have to, and unlocked, we have to understand what it means to this offense. Because
not catching a touchdown pass is hard for me to not have a single touchdown catch through halfway through the season. I cannot and will not claim that a player is unlocked.
And so here's remember after the Titans beat the Colts in Nashville, Austin Hooper had 3 catches for 56 yards, and he had really a game-clinching catch on third down with physical contact. And that's the first time we said that Austin Hooper was unlocked. And I said it's because he will be a consistent threat and factor in this offense moving forward. And that means around 40 plus yards a game, but coming up big on third down in key moments and making plays for his quarterback. What we didn't know is that we didn't know that Malik Willis is going to be the quarterback the following 2 games. So that slowed it down a little bit, but then he was still a big deal against the Chiefs on Sunday night. He should have drawn a defensive pass interference late in that game that could have made the outcome be a little bit different. And so I think we have to understand what unlocked means relative to what the Titans are. The Titans are not going to be a guy or a team that consistently has 100-yard pass catchers. They had one last week because they ran a flea flicker. That's it, right? Like they're not going to be
themselves into getting 100-yard receiving.
But unlocked is in that 40 to 50 receiving yards average and being able to help this team convert first downs to move the ball to score more points. And Austin Hooper has done that in 3 of the last 4 games.
Look, I'm not going to change your mind on the unlock thing. I think it's atrocious that you have lowered the expectation so low of what unlocked is.
That's reality. That's
It's
the reality.
lowering expectations. I mean, that's what it is.
But that no, and Trey says the Titans' definition of unlocked will be different. Ours might legit just mean being targeted a few more times.
Yeah, they also have vibe runners, which I agree with. Is no way that Hooper is unlocked right there. I agree with that.
And
so let's change it. Look, I'm not going to change your mind on this. We'll find out tonight if Hooper gives any amount of production to continue his unlockedness or really being locked still up with 0 touchdowns, 0 points impacted to this offense and this team. You cannot justify being unlocked if you've put 0 points on the board. Austin, like the goal is to score. You're an offensive player.
I know, Zach. I understand
score.
that, but I also have to be able to understand what this offense is and assess it in a realistic opportunity. So
until Hooper scores, I will not anoint him unlocked.
Okay, he's made the Titans would not have won the last couple of games without Austin Hooper. I believe that. So Matt says beginning of the season projections was Hooper being around 700 yards, 40 yards a game is 680. So basically he is averaging over the last 4 games what we thought he would be for the season. So over the last 4 games, and then the Texans game is worked into that, Austin Hooper is averaging what we expected.
Guys, we're halfway through the season. He has 191 yards. He literally has only 50 more yards than Chig on less targets and less receptions.
But
for
Zach,
Chig.
when is you are using against me the first 5 games of the season where I said where Austin Hooper has become unlocked. And this is becoming a parody word on this show, unlocked.
It's a parody conversation.
But I'm starting this from that second Colts game. That is the overall assessment, is that game is where Austin Hooper became unlocked and opens up this offense a little bit. And he's done that when the passing game's actually been happening.
But that's my point. Nick brings up my point. Lowering expectations, playing in a bad offense equals unlocked. And I just don't think that we should do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to anoint unlocked without a man who has put points up offensively when you are play offense. And so I'm not there yet. So I would rearrange the question instead of unlocked for you. Who is more important of getting production out of within the offense?
All right, so I'll tell you, and then I guess is your answer Chig? Or
I'm not going to know. I want to know your answer.
That's fine. That's fine.
Not
Just making sure.
Yet.
So I think for the options you gave, with Treylon Burks being set aside, I think of the 3, Robert Woods got to step up, man. Like if you've now figured some things out with Austin Hooper, right? And that can help you down the seam, over the middle, underneath. With that, Robert Woods has to step up. Robert Woods was supposed to be the steady man. He was supposed to be Mr. Consistent, and he hasn't been. And so I think if Robert Woods if this puzzle can get solved, then now you've got somebody on the outside who can help you make plays to go along with what you figured out with Austin Hooper. And then you've got Derrick Henry, who's been very good over the last month and a half, minus Denver. That was a tough matchup. And now you see where Burks and Chig as rookies fit in. You got to have your vets carry you. You can't rely upon rookies to carry you. So you've somewhat solved Austin Hooper's puzzle. You got to solve Robert Woods' puzzle, and then let the rookies be your splash plays to mix in.
They literally set themselves up to rely on rookies this year, though.
No,
yeah, they drafted Kyle Phillips and Treylon Brooks to come in and play big roles to rely on them.
But Robert Woods and Austin Hooper were also brought in too to be the stable pieces for those 2 position groups.
And none of them have worked out. Not a damn player has really worked out, and we've seen their ceiling. Not a single one of those players, whether you're drafted, traded for, or signed after being released. And so my answer is Chig, because he's the only guy that can actually proven that he can make big plays. Big plays is chunk yard plays. He's got 2 plays with 40 plus yards. That's flipping the field. Yeah. Single-handedly flipping the field. If Robert Woods catches a 10-yard pass for a first down, I still think that they're going to go 3 and out the next time, right? Like, they're 3 plays and then punt. That's what they've told us. That's what they've shown us. Now, if Chig gets a 40-plus yard play and flips the field, they go 3 and out the next 3 plays. At least you get 3 points out of it.
Yeah. No,
right?
I mean, yeah, well, they threw the ball to Chig.
Unless you have bad play calling, which that's what I'm setting myself up for.
Yeah, and it all circles back to Big Todd, man. It all does.
But Chig, I think the reason why I'm answering this question of unlocked, Austin Hooper's ceiling is low. The guy is not who we thought he was going to be. I will admit that. I think you can admit that.
Yeah.
He's not even close to the guy that we thought. You know what he is? He's the guy that the Browns released on the contract. There's a reason why he was released. It makes a lot more sense today than maybe it did the offseason. But Chig, you draft that guy, and he's made plays. He caught a huge pass in Indy to clinch the game. He's flipped the field. He's been reliable. He's fast. He can break tackles. Like, again, I want to play this clip one more damn time. Listen to Vrabel. Listen to actually Paul Kowarski.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most sensible question. The follow-up question is genius.
Something good seems to happen every time you guys throw to Chig. It seems like the natural progression would be to go to Chig.
We would like
more.
to, yep. Yeah, that would be, trying to continue to find ways to get him the football, and, again, when he's out there running a route, like I tell every player that's out for a route, your job is to get open, and you can't control whether you get the ball or not. That's up to the quarterback. So we'll continue to try to find ways to get everybody involved and do things to help us. But yesterday he came through with a big catch. Ryan delivered a nice ball that was over top the linebacker. So I agree.
Can you help me understand? You and Todd have said consistently with him you would like to, but you don't. So I'm trying to understand how it goes from liking to doing.
We'll see where it goes this week, and as far as helping you out, that's probably the last thing I would do.
Your response. I have something that I want to dive into about what Vrabel's actually saying here, but I'm curious to where you wanted to listen to it again.
Is why haven't you? Like, there's somebody is responsible for not being able to. Maybe it is not, we need to run more design play. And he may not say that, right? We need to run more design plays for him, but they've had 9 games to actually do it. Right?
I know the answer. And I'll tell you, I'm going to read between Mike Vrabel's words, and we'll play the beginning part of it one more time. But first, I need to tell all of you guys about our great sponsor, the Bone and Joint Institute. boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. If you get hurt in life, you need to go check out the Bone and Joint Institute, because a lot of, Zach and I have been there multiple times, unfortunately, because, stuff happens. One of our producers, Reed Besh, producer Reed on Primetime, he's a patient of the Bone and Joint Institute as well. And so it's great, guys. They know how to get you back to health. So check them out when you get hurt. They've got the specialists to get you back to health. boneandjointtn.org. In Franklin, that's boneandjointtn.org.
A to Z Sports, we're powered by BetMGM. We love BetMGM. You can get it on action tonight. What's the over/under on Hooper? That right?
I'll look at it.
Look that up. If it's over under 40 yards, he's averaging 41, right? Over the last 3 games, the man's unlocked. Then that should be his clip. Guarantee that Vegas is not stupid enough to put the line at 40 or 40 and a half. So he may not even be on the board.
I'm
eager.
The football will be frozen. Austin Hooper's over/under is set at 24.5. I'm just going to go and hit the over right now, Zach. I'm hitting the over. I'm putting $50 on Austin Hooper's over.
Good Lord.
It's set right there on the BetMGM app. 24.5.
I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. If Austin Hooper, I want my over/under to be higher, but if Austin Hooper gets over, 30 or more yards tonight, I will admit on tomorrow's show that Austin Hooper is unlocked. I don't want to.
No,
I may not believe
that's
it.
what I'm talking about right now.
But let's make a little tonight. You may lose money. You may win money. You may gain some unlocked happiness. But that's BetMGM, baby. Download the app today. Use the promo code ATOZ Sports. Get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 for new users.
Also, Chig's over-under BetMGM is 10.5, Zach. So if you like that at -115, then there you go.
No, Vrabel, we don't know. Why haven't you?
All right, so I'm going to play the video of Vrabel one more time. It's just the beginning part that I want to focus on because I'm reading in between Vrabel's words. I was terrible at English rhetoric in college, but I did figure out what Mike Vrabel's actually saying.
Something good seems to happen every time you guys throw to Chig. It seems like the natural progression would be to go to Chig.
We would like
more.
to, yep. Yeah, that would be, trying to continue to find ways to get him the football, and, again, when he's out there running a route, like I tell every player that's out for a route, your job is to get open, and, you can't control whether you get the ball or not.
So what he's saying there at the very beginning, we would like to, but we can't right now, Paul, because, and Zach and everybody watching here, all Titans fans who think 85 needs the ball in his hands, we would like to, but we can't right now because Chig is not trustworthy enough to be out there for every type of play call. That's what he's telling you, is that, and he also followed up and said, when he's out there and when he's running a route, which I think they feel good about him running routes, but they don't feel good about him when he's not running a route. It's kind of like in basketball when you don't know how to play without the ball in your hands. To be a good, all-around player, you got to be able to figure out how to play without the ball in your hands, whether it's setting screens, motions, cutting, getting other guys open. And for Chig, it's blocking. It's doing the right thing consistently to help the team. And that is what I believe Mike Vrabel is telling us by saying we would like to, but we can't because
I don't think that's a bad comment by you. I think that does make some logical sense if you're trying to read in between the lines, right? So we don't know if that's true, but
because and so Timothy says no, Austin, the O-line can't hold on long enough. That could be a part of it as well, Timothy. That the O-line can't hold up long enough to have some things develop for Chig. But we've seen a couple times where they've got it to him quick, where that's been irrelevant.
So you can do this. I think it's BS. If you want to do something, Austin, you can do something. The I can't mantra or mentality is complete and utter BS.
And let me
you can write a play and multiple plays that are simplified. In the history of football, Austin, and look, I'm going to bring up John's comment. John just gave Sam some lunch money, right?
Yeah.
Any great receiver that becomes a Titan ends up being just another wide receiver until Downing does something different. The wide receivers know it, and it shows on the field. This has been the history, Austin, is that the guys that need to get the football don't consistently get the football when they need the football. And if you really want to get Chig in space, you draw up a play for him. And if you draw up a couple of plays for him, you don't do jet sweeps. That goes for -4 yards, especially on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, whatever that was. That if you want to do something, you can. So I disagree with Vrabel. I think your notion could be correct.
Oh, no,
but it
again.
doesn't mean that when he is on the field that you can't get him the football. We see it all around the NFL also. When star players need the football, star players get the football. And I'm not even talking about Chig's not even a star, but he has proven that he can make big plays.
He's got ability, right? He's got the ability to run, to catch, to be physical after the catch, be quick after the catch. And so, again, to clarify, that's not my opinion on what I would do. That's what I think Mike Vrabel is saying. And I think there's a lot of layers to it. When Mike Vrabel says we would like to get Chig the football the more, I also think I did see a comment that I wanted to bring up as well, and that's Valentino saying it's a Todd Downing issue, not a trust issue. Maybe it's the fact that they would like to, but Todd Downing is not calling Chig plays in moments where Vrabel would like to get his more able athletes the football. And
the
so
Chig has look, we don't, and I want to preface this. I don't know the ins and outs of Chig's education of the playbook or knowing where to set up, or blocking ability. I'm not sitting here saying this, but I am saying from what we've seen of Chig being on the field, he's been very reliable. He's been good.
And I think
so, you've given him some opportunities, and that opportunity has turned into positive. It hasn't been negative. It hasn't been a third down drop over the middle of the field, right? It hasn't been Hooper catching the football and not rolling forward and not getting a first down on third down. It hasn't been that.
So Zach, I'm gonna go back in Titans history under Vrabel with a player like Chig. So Zach, what did you say Chig's stats were so far this season? You mentioned that the Titans have played 9 games or 6-3, which is fantastic. They got the big lead in the division, and Chig's produced what so far?
7 receptions off 13 targets for 141 yards. The average is 20.1. The only other guy that leads it, Flea Flicker NWI, which is 21.4.
Yeah.
And Chig has a touchdown.
Yes.
Hooper, no touchdown.
Right. So here's what I'm thinking. In 2018, Mike Vrabel's first season, Jonnu Smith was in his second season. And I think Jonnu and Chig have gotten a lot of comps because of draft stuff. Jonnu was probably more raw coming out of FIU than Chig was coming out of Maryland. So in year 2 for Jonnu Smith, which was year 1 for Mike Vrabel as Titans head coach, Jonnu Smith in 13 games, Zach, had 20 catches for 258. That's an average of 13 per and 3 touchdowns. That's in 13. So Jonnu Smith in his second year did not have really, I think Chig's on pace to surpass that. Right?
Yeah.
And so we're looking at what Mike Vrabel does with that position. And let's also remember 2018 was not a Delanie Walker year. That was when Delanie Walker went down in game 1 in that 8-hour marathon against the Dolphins. And so Jonnu was getting a lot of reps. Chig is not getting a lot of reps because this is just me reading through the history of the last 4.5 seasons of Mike Vrabel leading the Titans, is that position, because of their offense in being such a run-first, play-action offense, that position takes more veteran experience than it does young talent. That's how they view the tight ends. And so I expect big things from Chig moving forward, especially throughout his rookie contract. But I think it's just a more complex position for this offense.
Well, they got nothing to lose. They're dead last in the league.
In yards.
Who gives you the most yards? Chig and NWI. So, look, we'll find out. Look, I don't expect there to be a ton of passing yards tonight in the wintry weather of Lambeau. But, that's why we got Thursday Night Football. That's the exciting part about what tonight represents is you've got a Titans team that is coming off of a win that's 6-3. And then you've got a Packers team that's coming off of a win against the Cowboys in overtime that they're not dead yet with an elite quarterback. This is a great time of year for this game. I like with what the Packers have gone through and what the Titans have gone through. This is a great turning point, whether the Titans are continuing to move forward in the progression of their playoff push, or what are the Packers going to be now that the Vikings have only lost 1 game all year?
Yeah, well, they're fighting for a wild card spot. So we'll talk about this game here in a second, Zach. We want to ask everybody in the chat this question. Excuse me. What's your confidence level in the Titans beating the Packers on Thursday Night Football? What is your confidence level in the Titans beating the Packers on Thursday Night Football? Let's do this on a 1 through 10 confidence meter scale. But Zach, I know you're a 10 out of 10, maybe even higher about Farm Bureau health plans.
Yeah, and these numbers are going to be different over than if they played the last 3 years. Obviously, the last time they did play late in the season, that didn't turn out well for the Titans. We'll go down memory lane. We're going to go down memory lane. I went down memory lane realizing, hey, I need to think better, think smarter about my health plan, and I finally did because of Farm Bureau health plans. Also, I actually met with Farm Bureau health plans yesterday to talk about some potential plans in 2023. We love FBHP.com. They have helped me tremendously. I've been able to tell my story, and this is just pure authenticity. I had a bad health plan. Now, maybe I had an okay health plan, but I found a better one. And that better one was with Farm Bureau Health Plans of Tennessee. If you live in Tennessee, they've got 200 plus locations across the state. They can help you with your health plan. They've got dental, they've got vision, they've got you for your individual, or if you have a family, your perfect plan is right around the corner. Better coverage, better rates, better service. They've given me all three. They can give you that same thing as well. Visit fbhp.com/ATOZ and change your health plan today, or at least get a quote.
Yes, talking Thursday Night Football here in a second, but big day here on A to Z Sports, powered by BetMGM. A to Z Sports Picks will be live at noon today. Alan and Brian will break down this game tonight, but you can win big with BetMGM by signing up with our code ATOZ Sports. That means you get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 on pro football with that first bet. And also for anybody, whether you're an existing BetMGM user or a new one with that code ATOZ Sports, you can play for free the World Cup Bracket Challenge on BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Pick a bracket and you'll be a legend. You can take up to $250,000 if you have a perfect bracket. If your bracket falls a little short, you could still win a bunch of money, with the top prize being $50,000. Plus, how about this? You'll receive a $5 free play bet for every correct bracket game you win. So that's pretty good there too overall with BetMGM. Again, download the BetMGM app, use our code ATOZ Sports, risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000, and free-to-play World Cup Bracket Challenge. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only new customer offer. All promotion or qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued at non-withdrawable free bets or site credit for best expiring 7 days. For problem game support, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. Zach, I'll let you go to the chat. Confidence levels in the Titans winning this game tonight in Green Bay. We're in Green Bay. It currently feels like 17 degrees. That's what I've got here on my app. And at kickoff, it'll be 25 degrees up there in Lambeau.
So 2.5, is that still the line?
I'll open the BetMGM app yet again. I did not look at it when I placed my Austin Hooper over bet, but I'm doing it now. Titans +3, but -105 odds. So a little bit better juice there.
Andre says 6. Kendrick goes 3. G-Man 3. Trey Jackson says 7.5. Let's see. H-Roll says 7. 6 says from Kelly. Jabu says 7. Aaron George goes 6.5. Eric goes 7. Nick Ewing goes 7.5. Sam with 5. Jay Bryant with 4. Timothy with 6. KG says 7.5. Stephen King goes 7.689. Rooney with an 8. Dodson goes 4. Deshaun Washington goes 7. Jay goes 4. Kelly 6.5. Corey 7. Blake 6.5. John 6. Vols 8. Noah 4.5. Billy Jones 6.5. I think the average, we've got Ronnie coming in with 6. So a lot of different numbers. And look, more are piling in. So we appreciate all of the comments as I got to those. Michael Wagner goes 5.5 and Teddy Webb goes 9. I think the chat would probably average about 6.3 through all of what I just read over. Because there were some 8s, there were some 7.5s, but there were also some 4s, a little bit of 3s, some 5s that bring down the overall average. Austin, where are you going into this football game tonight?
It's tough, right? Because I mentioned right at the top of the show, the Titans are without a few big names. Bud Dupree, Amani Hooker are missing their consecutive games. Ben Jones out with a concussion, which definitely hurts. I'm curious to see what the Titans do at offensive line. And then Jeffrey Simmons. I think this is a big game to get Jeffrey Simmons back. If Jeffrey Simmons plays, I feel good about the Titans' chances to win. Good enough to be at a 6.5. Because and we'll talk more about this in our pregame show. And when we do our pregame show, 30 minutes to kick, we'll know if Big Jeff is out there. Because, Zach, I said last week when you were out and Sam was in, we talked about Jeffrey Simmons' situation. I thought I would prefer Jeffrey Simmons sit out against the Broncos to be back for Green Bay because of what A.J. Dillon is and what the Packers offense is this season. And so I'm at a 6.5 if Big Jeff plays. I think Big Jeff is worth 2 confidence points. So no Big Jeff. I'm down to 4.5.
Wait, so is Simmons, is that confirmed?
He's questionable.
Okay, so
I'm saying, yeah, because, you have to answer the question fairly. I think Big Jeff is.
So with Big Jeff, you're what?
6.5.
Without Big Jeff, you are
4.5. Without Big Jeff, I think A.J. Dillon and the Packers can run the football, which opens up play action passing, which opens up downfield touchdowns, how the Packers beat the Cowboys minus Dak Prescott throwing picks and Aaron Rodgers not throwing picks, 3 touchdowns over the top to Christian Watson, right? So if Big Jeff plays, it makes that difficult.
This is one of those games that I don't have a great feeling about for the Titans.
You have a bad feeling or you don't know how you feel?
No, I know how I feel. I don't feel good.
Smells bad?
Yeah, this smells like a Titans loss.
Stinky cheese?
I may change my mind prior to our pregame show. I don't know. I mean, we got all day. But this environment. So here's the one thing that could change my mind, Austin. I do believe that there's an X factor in this. And you know what? I won't say it because we'll talk about it in our pregame show. So okay. I'm going to hold on to that. But there is one thing that could change my feeling on this game tonight. We'll talk about that in the pregame. But right now, I'm probably at a 4.1. I think the Titans, you're not facing the same Packers team that you've been facing, right? This is not Aaron Rodgers NFC 13-3, type team. And the Titans are desperate to get something offensively going, right? And then they've got the caveat of Jeff Simmons. We know Bud Dupree's not going to play.
Right.
But last week, they sacked Russell Wilson 6 times. So I actually feel okay about that, right?
Well, so I feel fine about Bud Dupree missing. They've shown that too. But G-Man says, Austin, that hit without Jeff, even with the way the Titans defense played without him this past Sunday. But you have to recognize the difference in the Broncos running game and the Packers running game. I mentioned A.J. Dillon. He's not even the leading rusher. Aaron Jones having a great year. A.J. Dillon is a physical beast. Quadzilla is his nickname. But the Packers run the ball really, really well. The Broncos,
because they don't have any wide receivers to catch the football.
But the Broncos suck at running the football. And we saw, Gordon and Latavius Murray had a couple nice runs here and there, but we saw what they weren't able to sustain, where the Titans defense was fine without Big Jeff. Big Jeff is important in the run defensive game.
So why I feel the way that I do is because this game is much more important to the Green Bay Packers. It just is. Because it's an NFC AFC matchup. That's not going to have any impact. But for the Packers to keep their playoff hopes alive, it's kind of like Denver last week, but Green Bay is better than Denver. I think Denver's goose was already cooked before the ball snapped to start last week's game. But the Packers, coming off of a win, their offense has improved, their defense has improved. I do think that there's hope. They're a team that has had experience over the last couple of years winning football games. I think this smells just like a Packers desperate win. And they're a team that notoriously usually wins these games unless they're in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So I go more to team. I'm opening myself up to change my mind prior to pregame, so I'm not going to fully go in and predict the game. We'll do that 30 minutes prior to kickoff or 5 minutes prior to kickoff within our pregame show. Austin, here's my trivia question for you.
Ooh.
And I actually think you could get this.
I'm going to go ahead and hide the chat.
It is very particular. It is detailed. And I'm going to throw you back a long, long time ago. And that long time ago was way back in 2012. The Titans, and it was a beatdown, lost to the Packers as Aaron Rodgers threw for 3 touchdowns and 342 yards. Jake Locker threw the ball 30 times, which is never going to win you games. Had 2 interceptions, only 140 yards. What was the score of that game?
2012, where was it?
It was in Green Bay, and I know this because I know jerseys. Titans were wearing white over light blue that day.
My least.
Well, it was a huge differential in points. That's
my initial thought. I don't know why, but 41-14 sounds right. Your reaction says I'm wrong.
You are wrong, but Ronnie is right. Ronnie
might have Google on. Oh, 55-7.
MB, but Ronnie was the first one to get it. So credit to Ronnie. 55-7. And this is something that I cannot remember. What was the score to the snowy Green Bay game with Derrick Henry?
I think that one was 41-14.
Okay. So, and that's something I actually can look up pretty quick. But that was a bad game. Now, it didn't deter their playoff hopes. That was 2 years ago.
That was Sunday Night Football, late week 16, 2020. Yeah,
40-14.
Yeah, so I was close on that one. I thought you were going to go way back. I was ready to just answer Chris Brown. I was thinking I think that was a primetime game, Titans at Packers, and Chris Brown had 3 touchdown runs.
Yep, I remember that game.
2005. That's where I was. You said way back. I was just about to blurt out Chris Brown. But you didn't go that far. Interesting. Oh, real quick before we move on, I did see a comment that I wanted to bring up. Somebody was asking, what are the Titans going to do on offensive line? Who's the backup center? And we haven't really seen this Titans offense without Ben Jones in a long time. Start a game, right? You have to go back, I think, into that 2019 game when the Titans were at Carolina and Ben Jones was out. And Arthur Smith had a terrible play calling game and they lost by getting down early. A lot of Deion Lewis in that game. But I think that was the last time Ben Jones has missed. So here's what the Titans could do at center. They could keep it simple, stupid, and just plug in Corey Levin at center and don't mess anything else. Keep Brewer at left guard and, keep everybody else status quo. Or if you don't want Corey Levin to be the starter and you want to keep him available, you could slide Aaron Brewer to center, who has done that in spots throughout his young Titans career, and then put Dylan Radins at left guard. Those I think are the two.
I would do Levin.
And that's typically what.
But that is something to talk about and to watch tonight because bad snaps over the head or low snaps, they delay the process, and this Titans offense can't afford that. They're already terrible.
And I think I typically subscribe to, and I've heard Ramon Foster talk about this, our buddy at The Zone. I've heard him, who's a 11-year guard in the league. I've heard him say, the less you move, the better it is. So you don't want to move 2 pieces if you can just move 1. And so I think, it's likely to keep Levin at center, Brewer at left guard. And if you need to, if something happens in the game, then you have the ability to slide Brewer to center and Radins at left guard.
Yeah, Radins, no thank you.
I think Radins, a take that I've been kind of leaking out there a few times throughout the year. I think Dylan Radins will be a better long-term guard than Aaron Brewer.
Well, he needs to be a long-term something.
I think he's at the times where he's had to play left guard this season, or right guard this season. Dylan Radins has not been bad. Aaron Brewer has had 5 holds so far, and a lot of those have been the second half, 1st and 10, calling back a Derrick Henry 8-yard run type of hole that puts him in a bad spot.
I'll say this because we don't talk about it a lot. We're going to look back And the decision to draft NPF is good. Is going to save a lot of headache for the future because of what you're going to deal with in the offseason now without Taylor Lewan and having to go get you a big boy hog molly to protect whether it's Tannehill or Malik Willis's blind side.
Yeah.
But
again,
NPF, you've got bad draft picks that we talked about, like Caleb Farley and Isaiah Wilson. NPF was another one of those Jayon Brown, David Long Jr.'s, like, damn, that guy.
Amani Hooker.
Davis. And they had to have one of those picks at tackle because they had screwed up tackle for so many years.
And Trey says, how long is Jones going to play? I mean, you've got so many offensive line questions. Ben Jones has one more year left on his contract after this year. I don't know how that man would be able to do it.
Well, and look, concussion on a short week, you're doomed.
Yeah, but again, yes, concussion's the only thing that can actually keep Ben Jones out of the game right now. Anything else, he'll just duct tape it, KT tape it, bubble wrap it, whatever he's got to do to play. But concussion.
Big Ten Jeff, wherever he is, there's something nice I said about somebody from Ohio State. I can't stand Ohio State. I think that they're terrible. They're right up there with Mississippi State. They're just under Mississippi State, in my opinion, on how I watch college football.
I think they're a lot less than Mississippi State for you.
Well, yeah, because of my dire hatred towards those. Well, you don't want to get me started.
No,
those cow patty, redneck, dip spitting, maroon wearing, camo wearing, just Starkville.
Oh man,
makes my nose turn. Starkville may be the worst city in America.
All right, I'll cut you off there. Chris says 0-2 to 6-3 is very impressive for the Titans. And how about this stat? If you're thinking about having a little fun tonight at BetMGM, the Titans have covered 7 straight spreads, dating back to getting blown out on Monday Night Football against the Bills. 7 straight covers for the Titans. That means they've won 6 games and covered in all 6 wins. And then they obviously covered by forcing overtime against the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. So I think that's pretty impressive there.
Well, that's
we'll
find out tonight.
Yeah, we'll do our predictions.
Yep.
That's right.
Hard hats on.
Titans currently +3 tonight at BetMGM. All right, Zach, let's wrap it up here with the Magic Bucket, a game day edition of the Magic Bucket. But let me tell you guys about Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers. They are the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. And if you get hurt in a car wreck, where you need to go is Hughes and Coleman Injury Lawyers. Call them for a free case consultation. Their number is 800-800-4600. They've got the muscle, the resources, all of the things that can get you the money you deserve after you've been hurt in a car wreck, because they've recovered over $1 billion for their clients over the last 30 years across the state of Tennessee and in Kentucky. They're trusted by the Titans. They're trusted by A to Z Sports. You should too. Again, call Hughes and Coleman for a free case consultation. That's 800-800-4600, Principal Office, Nashville, Tennessee.
A to Z Sports, we're powered by BetMGM. Download the app today. ATOZSPORTS, all one word for new users. They got you hooked up and excited about what we're going to be talking about, the World Cup coming up, right? BetMGM's hooking you up with a really cool deal right there. You got to download the app. You got to sign up if you haven't already. You got to use that promo code ATOZ Sports. For new users, you get that risk-free bet. And they got a great deal for existing users like Austin and I, and hopefully a lot of you guys in the chat. So download the app today in your Apple or Android app store.
Magic Bucket on this Thursday. Yeah, Zach, I'm going to do the World Cup bracket free to play. It's free. Why not? And I get $5 free bet on BetMGM every game I pick correctly. Why not do that with the BetMGM app there? World Cup gets going soon.
I'm going to do that too, but I'm going to feel like, Janice from accounting that fills out a March Madness bracket. I don't really know if
Diddly
Uruguay's good or if they're even in it. But
yeah, I mean, can you go by country colors? You can't really go by the mascots.
I mean, we know, look, France, Italy, England, Brazil, Argentina, those are your big dogs. The USA, I think subtly, maybe could advance in, out of the first round, but I'm excited. Monday,
Zach, I haven't even told you this, but A to Z Sports is going to have some social media coverage live from the World Cup. You have no idea what I'm talking about. But we, A to Z Sports, will have a World Cup correspondence for some social media content. How about that?
We're not paying for their reliability.
No. They went on their own dime, but they said, "Hey, I'm going to be in Qatar, I don't know what tomato. Do you guys want coverage?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So that'll start somewhat soon. So A to Z
Qatar. They need to be safe. One false move, you blink and I feel like in a Qatar jail cell. And I don't even know what that even looks like.
A to Z Worldwide continues to expand, and Maz already says Italy's not in the World Cup. So there goes that pick.
See, right? I'm Janice from accounting.
All right. So, Zach, Magic Bucket. I've got the bucket. Whose sticker week is it? I have no idea.
It's yours because you had the Halloween, then I went and I wasn't there last week. So
that's right. That's right. Which, honestly, I think is a bad day for me. Because I didn't know whose sticker week was it, and I am unprepared. So it is a bad day for me.
Wow. So it's a good day for me because you got to pick twice.
Them's the rules. And these are the breaks that Zach gets because I'm unprepared when it comes to stickers.
That's a tough one. Do you have any fault? You got 30-second false?
No, I got Bella, my dog, next to me. I'm locked into my spot. I have no idea where to scramble in 30 seconds to find a sticker. I don't want to knock over equipment in a scramble. I'm just going to eat this one. Just like I had to eat that Impossible Whopper with extra mayo last week. Sam. So here's the Magic Bucket. And this is me pulling for me the first time.
Yikes. It does make me a little happy because I'm not having to go through the ringer, but this is tough to watch.
I don't think I've had this one because there's a lot of new ones. This is not bad. Say one thing you wish you could do as a talent.
Yeah, I think I got this last.
I think you've had this, and I think we're probably going to have the same answer. Well, I have zero musical talents. I have rhythm, I can dance. I can do that and not embarrass myself. I can dance pretty well, but I can't play an instrument or sing a lick. So
what would you rather do?
I wish I could play the piano. I've been told I've got long fingers, and I've been told that I would have great piano fingers, piano hands. That I would be able to do that well because of how my hands are sized and proportioned. So I think playing the piano would be really cool because Jarrell says playing the piano would be dope. I mean, if you I don't know how many parties of your Friendsgivings you've been to where there's been pianos, but if you could just sit down at a piano and just knock out.
I'm going to another one probably here in 20 minutes.
But if you could just sit down at a random piano and just start just kind of knocking some things out and sounding pretty good, then people are like, "Oh, damn, I didn't know you could do that." Guitar, screw guitar. Because any dude with a beanie and a half beard can pick up a guitar and start messing around.
Yeah. And you can be very quickly turn into the loser, right? Let me play you a song, baby.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't care about the dude who whips out the guitar around the campfire.
A campfire guitar guy, no. Electric guitar guy playing like Jimi Hendrix, then you're like, whoa. And then my roommate in college used to play the banjo. And that was a very subtle, because you don't see a lot of, and he was good at the banjo. And just seeing him play banjo was very impressive.
Yeah. So I would say play the piano. I wish I could play the piano. Maybe one day when I've got more time on my hands, I can learn how to play the piano. So
there you go.
That's
all right,
my first
one down, one more to go.
I got off real easy on that.
Well,
one.
you got the worst one last week, so
Yeah.
it's only
mean,
up from here.
The Impossible Whopper isn't that bad.
Let's not talk about that. It's
The extra mayo is what did it for me. Tell us about a recent dream you had. All right, so I need to remember this because there was a random dream that I had, and I meant to text this in our A to Z Sports Picks group, Zach. I had a dream that me and Alan Bell were like running around Nashville together. We were just like doing, I don't even
That could have been a reality.
But it's not. It could be coming up soon, hopefully. That'd be fun. And Brian Edwards is coming in town this weekend for the Vandy Florida game. But I had a dream where I can't remember what me and Alan were doing. It was one of those bizarre activities that you're like, what the, like, if I would have I meant to text Alan and be like, yo, I had a dream that me and you were like going like grocery shopping for like a house party we were throwing. It was something weird like that. But that's the most recent dream that I can remember off the top of my head right now.
That's a hard question, right? Because you really gotta,
because you only remember them in the moments, and then if you don't tell somebody about it, then you lose it.
I'll wait till I get picked that to tell a dream story, but it's hard because if you wake up from a dream in the middle of the night and go immediately back to sleep, the odds are I usually don't remember it. And I don't dream that much.
No, you dream. You just don't remember your dreams.
I get that's what they say. I don't know.
No, that's what happens. You dream. You just don't.
They know that. Who they?
The researchers. Duh.
Yeah. Well, they're the same people saying the vaccination guy. I mean, right? I mean, come
the
on.
research,
Where are we at here?
I feel like
are these the same guys that are saying that the vaccination
they're different guys.
blocks all transfer of coronavirus? Because I want to have a conversation with those.
No, it's
scientists.
Completely different guys, completely different labs. I think I would love to have somebody study me in my sleep. Because I suck at sleeping. I was texting with Charlie Burris this morning, host of our Big Orange podcast. Like my wife and I have to stream a show on the iPad to fall asleep. Silence, we don't do silent. I can't sleep and fall asleep in silence.
Dude, the second I close my eyes, there's a 15-second timer and I am asleep.
If I close my eyes and there's no ceiling fan or no other noise, my ears just start making up noises at a uncomfortable pitch where I'm like, this sucks. I can't sleep in silence.
That is kind of a fear. The older you get, right? Because my grandfather could, sit on the couch and all of a sudden he's in a nap. My fear is the older that I get, my ability to fall asleep is so easily quick when I go to sleep. I don't nap during the day. It's just not my personality. Yeah. But as I get older, I feel like that's something that you do. And my fear is that I'm just going to be like napping, like just asleep. Yeah. And I don't want to waste my life napping. I got things to do.
Napping sometime is needed. I haven't taken naps in a few years. But anyway.
I don't have time to nap.
But yeah, my last dream, me and Alan Bell were running amok around Nashville doing something silly. I can't remember what it was. It was a couple weeks ago. And I should have texted the group, but I forgot to.
You don't have time to nap when you're waiting on Facebook to call.
That's right.
Because they never call.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, look, I had to do the double magic bucket because.
And you think you got away easy.
I enjoyed both conversations.
Yeah. You don't have to dress up like a freak tomorrow. Like you don't have to eat something weird. You don't have to shotgun 3 beers. Like that was an easy double down. And actually, well, you got a couple out of the way, so maybe worse ones are on the horizon, but we'll find out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Busy day for A to Z Sports because we're not done going live at all, really. I just talked about Alan Bell, Brian Edwards. A to Z Sports Picks presented by BetMGM will be live at noon today. They will have bets for tonight's game, Titans at Packers. So that's noon Central. Then Buck, who is up in Green Bay right now, will be live for his Titan Game Day pregame show at 2 p.m. Central Time. And then Zach and I will be live for our pregame show, Titan Game Day Live. Our pregame is at 6:45, then halftime and postgame. So we're looking forward to a big day. Today might be a day where a nap would be good, but I'll probably power through without it. But anyway, so stay locked into our YouTube channel because that's where all the content will be live, and also pregame and postgame coverage coming from Buck and our guy Jake Evans, who are both in Green Bay tonight. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like the show before you go, and we'll see you guys throughout the day. Have a good start to game day. Talk to you soon.
Adios.